Alright, we are practicing our multiplication using the array. Our array, first of all, gives us a rectangle. And then I'm going to break each number up into its place value pieces. I have 6, well that's just the ones place, so 6 is going to stay as 6. Then I have 14. Well, I have 1 in the tens, so I have 1 10, and I have 4 ones. So I'm going to break up 14 into 10 and 4. Okay. Then I'm going to solve each place. You could draw lines down each tens to represent, or I can see that as I'm going to this rectangle, my 10 and my 6 are what are going to be in here. So I'm going to shortcut it a little bit and just say 10 times 6 is 60. And over here I wouldn't have any tens, I would have all those little unit squares, and it would be 4 times 6, which is 24. So then, to solve my problem, I know that 6 times 14 is what I would get if I put these two pieces together. So 6 times 14 is the same thing as 60 plus 24, and 60 plus 24 is 84. So my answer is 84. For the second one, I am doing 8 times 18. I'm going to start with my rectangle, and it's important to draw that rectangle big enough that you can write inside of it. And then look at my numbers. I have an 8, and there's nothing to break up, it's just the ones place, so I have my 8. And my 18, which will be the number up top, I have 1 tens, and I have 8 ones. So I'm going to split my rectangle up. And the first one, I have 8 and 10 that go into it. So I'm going to do 10 times 8, which is 80. And my second one, I have 8 and 8, which is 64. So now I know that 8 times 18 is the same thing as 80 plus 64, which is 144. Okay, for the third one, I'm going to draw my rectangle again, nice and big, so that I can write in it. For 7, there's nothing to break up, so I have 7. For my number 23, I see that I have a 2 in the tens place, which means it's worth 20, and then I have a 3 in the ones place. Okay. Now that gives me an extended fact. I have 7 and 20 that go into this square, rectangle, and 2 times 7 is 14, and then because we're in the tens place, we need to put that 0 back in. So 20 times 7 is 140, and rectangle I have 1. So then I know 23 times 7 is the same thing as 140 plus 21, which is 161. Okay, let's continue on to the next page. I have 9 times 26. Okay, 9 doesn't have anything to break up because it's just the ones place. And then I have 26. And again, I have a 2 in the tens place, which is worth 20, and a 6 in the ones place. So in my first rectangle, I have 20 times 9, which is 180. And in the second rectangle, I have 9 times 6, which is 54. So I can solve 26 times 9 by doing 180 plus 54, 200. On the next one, have 7, which is just my ones place, and 16 will split up into 10 and 6. So then in my first rectangle, I have 10 times 7, which is 70. And in the second rectangle, I have 7 times 6, which is 42. So to solve 16 times 7, I'm going to do 70 on the next one. I have 7 times 18, and the 7 I'm not breaking up because it's just the ones place, and 18 will split into 10 and 8, and so on my first side I have 10 times 7, which is 70, and on my second one I have 7 times 8, which is 56. So to solve 18 times 7, I can do 70 plus, which is 126. Okay. The last page of the packet. My first problem, I have 6 times 32. So 6 stays the same because it's just the ones place. And 32 will split up, and this time I have 3 10s, so it's worth 30 and 2. And so my first rectangle, I have 30 times 6, which is 180. And then I have 2 times 6, which is 12. So to solve 32 times 6, I'm going to do 180 plus 12, which is 192. The next one, I'm starting off with 4, which is just the ones place, and I'm multiplying by 26, which is a 20 and a 6. So in my first box, I'm doing 20 times 4, which is 80, because 2 times 4 is 8, and then I have my 0. And in the second box, I'm doing 6 times 4 is 24. So to solve 26 times 4, I'm going to add 80 plus 24, which is 104. And the last one is 5 times 21. So we're going to have a rectangle, and 5 doesn't split up because it's just the ones place. 21 breaks up into 20 and 1. I'm going to have 20, which is 100, because 2 times 5 is 10, and then my 0. And in my second box, I'm going to have 5 times 1 is 5. So to multiply 21 times 5, I can do 100 plus 5, which is 105. Okay. That's our practice for array practice number 1.